I am facing the sun and it's a glare. I can barely see my screen. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. I gotta be real honest, man. I've been slacking on my walking. I've been going to my training sessions, but my walking, I ain't gonna lie, I've been slacking. Uh, I know last week it did a lot of rain. I pulled up here to the park after my session and tell me why. I pull up, get ready to set my live up or whatnot, and it started pouring down raining. I was like, man, look. So, and then I was on vacation last week, so I pretty much chilled last week. Um, I did my training days, and came home and I chilled, shit. I chilled, relaxed. So I think my next vacation may not be until July, I think. Um, we had the period where we had to plan our vacation days. And so uh, I signed up for a weekend in July. Um, my next off day is Wednesday, one of my last remaining um, paid time off days. But yeah, so I gotta get in the shade so I can even read the screen because of the glare from the sun. I can't even read my screen. So mods, if you in the building, y'all know what to do. Get these 2 miles out the way before I hit the grocery store. Man, I do not want to go back to work. Oh, I don't want to go back to work. uh, I swear if I can afford to take a sabbatical, I would. All right, Mr. Luke. Hey, what's up? Good morning, salutes. I think I'm going to change that and make that my emoji. Do the muscles. Although mine are slowly but surely coming in. I'm at a good distance of my car. I have to turn around. It's like you can't be too trusting of people or your areas a lot of times because you got mofos. It sucks. It sucks because you want to go take a nice walk in the park, get some steps in, get some fresh air, you know, be one with nature, have a talk with God and all that good stuff. And then you got these ding nuts and junkies and ne'er do wells. They want to break in folks' cars and shit, and it sucks. It sucks. And so I know when I had parked in, I was getting out, kind of noticed the smell of cannabis in the air, and of course, there's nothing wrong with that. I have no issues with that. It's just the people, the types of people that are consuming the cannabis that raises my eyebrows. It's what is it, 10:14 in the morning? Why the fuck you ain't at work? If you not working a second or a third shift. What's up, man? You a salute. Salute. So yeah, trying to get back on track, trying to get these steps and all of that stuff. Man, one of the things that can be so discouraging in weight loss is is fluctuation. Body fluctuation. Sometimes your body puts on water weights, or you might have got pissed off or something, and cortisol levels kind of hike up. All types of stuff that that aids in body fluctuation, especially with women. You know that are in childbearing years. The constant water and fat retention. And efforts of producing and bringing forth life. And in 2018, I closed that shop down. So why the hell do I need to still be retaining and retenting when I don't plan on bringing forth no more life? Oh, Lord. Thank you, Eve, you bastard. I blame Eve, bitch. Oh, boy. Baby, life be life. And yep, fluctuation, plateaus, all that type of stuff. And they say not to focus on the scale. That's easier said than done, you know, especially when you're noticing the internal changes, of course. What people don't realize is that when you start losing weight, it actually starts internally first and then works out externally. So the fat that you're burning, starting off, of course, is your core fat, all the fat that's surrounding your internal organs and everything like that. And then you'll start seeing the outward physical changes and all that fun stuff. And so, and that's why you feel lighter. You have more energy and all that type of stuff. And then everything on the outside falls into place. And that's where a lot of people will get upset and give up, because of all of that. Because it's like it's definitely a inward to outward process. And man, baby. And like I was telling my doctor last week, it's even more frustrating when you have someone that's already in the game, that's been in the game, and know all of this, but still you want, if not the instant result, at least a quick enough result where you can see some type of minimum change. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I hit a crossroads. And I get pissed and see with me, when I get emotional, I'm not really an emotional eater per se, although sweets is my Achilles heel. That's one thing. And then two, I will pass the fuck out. In other words, I actually sleep during if I'm feeling down or depressed, or or something's heavy on my heart. That's where I come in at. It's like it's like my body would just be like, fuck it. And I ain't doing shit. So And I know the sisters and I were talking yesterday um, before we did our show. And so Toya said, Toya and her Pisces mood, I get it. Toya and I are both Pisces. And I told her, yeah, sis, real talk, I was in the mood last week. I really was. Uh, First part of the week, I was just, everything was good. I was happy, man. But towards the end of the week, I was like, man, you know, for a couple of personal reasons and such, but uh Charlemagne the God just quoted a quote from Maya Angelou, and I hope I'm saying it right, where he said, uh, "You can't always control what happens to you, but you can shit." I forgot what that man said. It's like it said you can't control what happens to you, but you can control whether it crumbles you, breaks you down, something like that. Don't give me the lying to y'all. Don't get me to lying to you. But that definitely make a lot of sense. And you know, in life there are a lot of things that are out of our control, and when I was a team leader at work, I used to tell my crew that all the time. I said, look, man, just say the serenity prayer and call it a day, because you can't control whether somebody calls in to come to work or not. You know what I'm saying? You can't control the level of volume we get every night. You know, the amount of cans that come through staging and the equipment, conking out and stuff like that. We all know where we work at is a Fortune 500 multi-billionaire company. They cheap as fuck. Otherwise, we would be having top of the line equipment and all that stuff. But, you know, do your job, get paid and go home. You know? Right. So, it is what it is. If there's something you can control or at least make it better, then cool. If you can't, man, don't let it break you down. Don't let it destroy you. You know, that's that's definitely the battlefield of the mind, for real. And I say the term ignorance is bliss is so true, because it's like when you don't know something, you're fine. Everything is good, but you get one little piece of detail or that one little change, and your mind is all over the place. It's psychosomatic. Um, and that's what I was telling my coworkers and everyone that I think COVID is. COVID is psychosomatic. I remember when I caught COVID in 2021. I caught it in late February. I guess, we came in contact with the virus maybe like the last week in February, next to the last week. And I was on vacation for my birthday that first week of March. My birthday is March 3rd, so I always take off vacation. So that Tuesday, my birthday's that following Thursday. So that Tuesday, I noticed, I was doing like some makeup for TikTok and stuff like that. And when I was done, I had a little scratchy throat. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I know good and well I ain't trying to get sick on my birthday vacation. And I had like this whole day planned for my birthday and stuff like that. And man, had a little scratchy throat. So I took an allergy pill because I figured it was probably my allergies or whatever. Took my allergy pill. And then when I got ready to lay down, I started feeling little aches. I'm still thinking it's my sinuses or whatever. So Wednesday then passed. I'm still feeling okay. Um, take my sinus pill, take my sinus allergy medicine. I'm cool, whatever. Man, Thursday, I get a call from my coworker. First, one of our coworkers in another area who had been out, um, he and his mom had contracted COVID. He had passed away. And I was like, nah, bro, are you serious? Like, for real? Dang, man. He had passed away. And I think his mom passed away that following week or shortly after. His mom passed shortly after he did. But that was bad news number one. Bad news number two, damn near everybody in our department is out with COVID. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? So, and I was told that one of my coworkers had came in, uh, you know, he was like sweating, kind of sneezing, coughing or whatever, stuff like that. And then my other coworker, when he came in, he was freezing and had his beanie on. He's bald. You know what I'm saying? Had his beanie on or whatever. And now I'm getting this news. I'm still feeling like, my sinus allergies kicking up. Taking my medicine. I'm still feeling okay. I'm still feeling okay. So my birthday passed, things like that. And I get home. Now my daughter's like, Mommy, my throat is feeling a little sore. I said, oh, hell. So I went on ahead and went to the Warrior headquarters and went on ahead and got myself tested. Got myself tested. Uh, I want to say they called me 24 hours later. Boom. I tested positive COVID. What the fuck? So now I had to take my kids to Le Bonheur, get them tested. They tested positive. Jeremy, he was positive. Of course, it's all of us in the house. All of us are positive, but I'm still feeling okay. Tell me why. I did my video. I had did a video about it. My brother, Seeing Comedy, had when he caught COVID, and he did a parody about it. Why this man was sick, called "Stopped Up." It's a parody from Akon's "Locked Up." So I had duetted it and played along with it. Y'all tell me why when I finished that video, hit upload, boom, every damn thing started happening. And I'm sitting here like, what in the world? I was just feeling fine before I made this doggone video. So I don't know if by making the video, I somehow, I guess, accepted that I had COVID. And that's when all them damn symptoms that they talked about started hitting. I couldn't smell nothing. I couldn't taste nothing. And I drink hard seltzers. It's been years since I drank them, but I do. And I think I had I think it was a Mike's hard lemonade or something like that. And when I said I drank it and there were no effects at all, I ain't getting no buzz. No, the taste was bland, nothing. It was crazy. Like, it was crazy. And now my head is hurting. My body is aching. Oh, Lord. And the week of that was horrible. Oh, let me rewind it. Uh, so my manager gonna call me that Friday. My manager gonna call me that Friday and gonna ask me if I could come in because everybody, pretty much uh 90 98.9% of the office is out with COVID. And I told him, I said, man, I hate to break it to you, but it got me too. And I'm finna go. And he was like, oh man, well you go, blah blah blah, keep me posted. But my whole thing was, even if I wasn't sick, I am not gonna come in on my last day of vacation. You got life twisted, bro. No, we're not doing that. That was crazy. No, I am not. No, sir. No, no, no. But yeah, but it's crazy. You know, when you become aware of things, that's when things happen. Uh, and it's the craziest thing. I said it's definitely psychosomatic because had I kept going on about my day, I probably wouldn't have been fine. I probably thought it was a bad cold or something. Because really, that's all it really felt like was just a bad cold with excessive coughing. That was it. And I had to and I had discovered that I couldn't lay flat down. I had to like kind of sit, kind of lay upright, so I can actually close my eyes, get some sleep, and be comfortable. And then too, because I didn't have an appetite, I didn't eat or drink nothing, so I was getting these crazy headaches. And then I had realized, well, you know what? I hadn't drank nothing. So let me order this Gatorade and stuff to be delivered. But yeah, and I was straight after that. Craziest thing about it was me and Jeremy in the house dying. The kids, they bouncing all through the house like ain't nothing going on. I'm like, damn, can you at least pretend like you sick? Shit. Oh boy. But yeah, that stuff was crazy. But yeah, but that's where you was some of the lucky ones. Yeah, don't sweat what you can't control, right? Oh yeah, we were definitely blessed in that regard. Because two of my coworkers, uh, they almost it took them through. It definitely took them through. Um, to where shoot, they was out for months. You know, I think I think they both were in ICU at some point. I think one was on a ventilator. Um, and I remember when she called, to let me, to kind of let me know what was going on. And my goodness, she sounded horrible. And I was like, look, put it in the text. You know, don't overexert yourself, Just put it in the text and you rest. Cause shoot. Cause I don't think the last thing I want is you kicking a bucket while you trying to talk to me. And I have to hear that. Like, but everybody can, made it out, made it through. So thank God for that. But yeah, that was a trip. That was definitely a trip. But yeah, battlefield of the mind though, you know, you have to, you definitely have to, you know, safeguard your thoughts. Sometimes you have to divert your thoughts too. Um, you know, on a more positive and on a more hopeful aspect because the minute you start letting them thoughts take over you or you start losing hope and feeling defeated and all that stuff, that mess is going to consume you, you know? And our body responds to our brains. You know what I'm saying? Remember that our body responds to our brain. Our brain sends signals to our bodies. So if in your head you thinking, oh, this is it, or I'm never gonna get better, or I'm never gonna do this, it's gonna go down to your body, and your body is gonna react to that. You're gonna start feeling weaker, you're gonna start getting sicker, you're gonna start moving less, and next thing you know, you're wasting away. So do not give up at all. And so, whew, I gotta look. I'm trying to read in my. I'm trying to read, and the sweat is getting in my eyes. I should have brought a towel. I should have brought a towel. Okay, and then of course, let's see. That's why I'm a germaphobe, and I've been wearing masks since 2010. And the mind game. So, yep, as the mind goes, so does the body. That is so true. That is so true. And you said you're a germaphobe, Emmanuel. You got any kids? Baby, I'm going to tell you something about kids. They are some carriers and they are some spreaders, especially elementary school kids. Jesus Christ. Oh, and I still got a ways to go. My daughter is going to the fourth grade and my son going to the second grade. And oh, I will be elated. Oh, you got two adults and they germaphobes too. That's what's up. Well, that's what's up. You done. I know you happy. Shoot, leave it to me. Leave it to me to be a late breeder with elementary school kids at the age of 42. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, my baby started, my son started kindergarten. I want to say, yeah, I was 40 because he's going to the second grade now. Oh, man. Yes, they are. And shoot, and they come in, they leave the house just as happy and bright and sprightful. And they come, and then I pick them up at 3. They come in the house, they wiping their noses, they sneezing, they coughing. And see, the coughing is that first telltale sign. I tell them, I said, look, all right, look, you come here all this coughing, your little bug will sleep in the backyard. But I start that and see my son, and see my son, which is the weirdest thing to me, but he gets hit but he's the one that will get hit the worst. He'll get hit worst. Um, he'll start getting a fever and getting hot, and then he all over me because he's my Velcro baby. So he he'll come straight on me. If I go to sleep, I'm on the couch. I'm a couch sleeper. I go to sleep and I wake up feeling weighted down and look at him laying on my chest. So of course when he gets so of course he's not feeling well. Same thing. He comes over to me and I'm giving him medicine and I'm holding him and stuff like that, watching my TV while I go to sleep. And then boom, next thing I know I get hit. I'm like, God dang. Like, look, you don't have to lay beside me because I ain't look, I ain't be doing this too much. Sheesh. You threw yourself I'm done party. That's what's up. That is what's up. Yep. My two were in the elementary. I had dropped them off. I had to sign them in because they were late. We had a storm that came through last night and kind of kept the kids up. Uh, my daughter, she was she was afraid um, because the lights kept going in and out, and she came in there where I was, and then she went in the room with her dad because he called me or whatever, and I'm like, boy, what you want? She hanging on to my leg, and he was like, what's wrong with her? I said, yeah, she's a little afraid of the storm, and he was like, come here, girl, and she got in the bed, and that's where she stayed. She stayed in the stayed with him, and so and he gonna tell me to get in the bed. I said, boy, bye, I ain't scared of no storm. I go back in the living room. I am not. I ain't scared of no storm. So I go back in the living room, and so my son, as soon as I sit down, they're gonna pick on my son. And so, and I said, well, son, I said, your sister's out of their rooms, so I guess, you being out, you know, it's a little leeway. It's a little lenient tonight because of the storm. So, but yeah, and so my daughter, she didn't finally go to sleep until 2 this morning. My son doesn't have a problem sleeping. He good. When he winds down, that's it. Soon as he lay his head down, that's it. He out. Down goes Frazier. He good. You ain't gotta worry about him. He good. Her, nah. You know. And so, but we wake up and her little eyes just red and glassy. She's sleepy. He was okay. He was okay. But boy, them Monday blues for them. And I told him, I said, check this out though. I said, this the final countdown. This the last week, so y'all good. Finish strong. This the last week of school. Tomorrow the schedule said a field day, but um, we got news of some severe weather possibly coming through. So um, they may either cancel that or probably bring it indoors. Um, I see them bringing it indoors if at all possible, and do something in the gym or the cafeteria. But and then you know, and then the rest of the days it's just free days. You know what I'm saying? The elementary, you know, middle school and high school are tricky. I ain't gonna lie, some of them teachers, yeah. And then too, um, I know in high school, we had semester exams on the last, was it like the last 2 days of school or whatever. And so I definitely recount a lot of days going to school on the last day because of the semester exams, the final exams. Um, up until my senior year when we had our graduation, May 29th, and that was that was it. That was that on that. So and so he said, I'm gonna let him go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. They stay home. And my question every year on that, I'm like, you sure? Make sure they don't have anything going on. You know, sometimes schools will have fun days, stuff like that, and the kids might want to go to. So, but he said yeah. And so my son, he's like, well, mommy, if we don't go to school on those days, are you still gonna go to jail? Are you gonna be okay? Because I tell my son, because he's the one always, I don't want to go to school. I don't need to go to school. I'm already smart. And I said, look, boy, I said, I'm not going to jail all because you don't want to go to school because you feel like you're too you're too intelligent. I ain't gonna lie, he is. He is very school range. He's better than a lot of high schoolers. Plus, too, but I have to get on her because my daughter okay with, and I'm like, no, ma'am, we not doing it. We are not gonna be okay with just getting by. Read stuff, she'll just say whatever. I said, no, ma'am, go back. Mommy, money, nothing. Go back, go back. Nah, we not doing that. So that's how she is. But my son though, cause the school um had this wacky policy where if you miss 3 days of school, now mind you, the school year is a whole damn what 9 months in Memphis. And if you miss 3 days out of those 9 months, it's far and few in between. For the most part, our excuse and looking at the history, the dates, and the reasons that I gave them, some of them they claim were unexcused. And I said, y'all are stupid. So when I registered them for next school year, I saw where now they're going to implement a new policy where they increase the days to 18. And I said, that makes sense. That's better. Because 3 days, y'all, 3 days is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? What if a kid gets extremely sick or, has to be out for bereavement? You know what I'm saying? Break a bone. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And then, too, sometimes, the kids just want a mental day off. And I don't blame them. Sometimes they just don't want to go. And I'll be like, you know what? Go back to bed. As long as it's in good standing, you know what? Why not? Go back to sleep. You know, I told my son, I said, they better not call me on these last 2 days of school. It's the last 2 days. They will be all right. So, yeah, it is what it is. Whew. And my walk is done. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, you still, baby, somebody, I'm still young. I sure don't want one more. Chad, please. I'm 42. And 42 for me, 42 for me is in my I need to be in my 60s. You know what I'm saying? And I had my tubes tied. I was 35. when I had my tubes tied, my doctor tried to be slick. Gonna try and give me 6 more months. And set my appointment talking about, I'm gonna give you 6 months if you change your mind. I'm like, my mind gonna be the same when I get here. And I said, and if I come back pregnant, it's gonna be me and you. Me and you gonna have it. I better not. I bet or not. Nuh-uh, I was done. I got my 2-piece. I got my 2-piece and I'm the biscuit. We good. My daughter and my son. I ain't gonna lie. I really wish my son would have been a twin. I really wish he would have been a twin. That way I would have been one and done over with. Because he is not only the youngest, but he's the only boy. And overall it's 5 kids with him. He for him, not with him, for him. I got 2 with him. But for him it's 5. And and my son is the baby and the only boy. So nah. And he wanted his son and he got it. So, and I had told him, I said, look, you better pray long and hard, because if it's a boy, I'm done. If it's a girl, I'm done. You got to get your boy somewhere else, because I am done. I was done when I had my daughter. I did not want to get pregnant again. And my son was their surprise. So, surprise, surprise. But that's my little rider though. That's my little rider, my little Velcro baby. And definitely a mama's boy. Oh wee. Definitely a mama's boy. That's my little man. And so with Winter, Winter was my little rider too. Pretty much my kids went everywhere with me except for work. So Winter went with me everywhere. When I went to the store, when I went to church, when I of course she didn't go with me to my doctor, but she went with me everywhere. When I had started back teaching my Zumba classes, she was there front row center. Sometimes I would dance while carrying her. I had like this little backpack carrier, and I would be teaching class. She'd be right there in front of me, where she'd be in her little stroller, and she and I would be dressed alike and all that stuff. And there's a picture of us where we were dressed alike when I did this. When I presented at New Bethel Church before I had started teaching classes there. So, go ahead, Peggy, across the street. But yep, yeah, 3 days is super crazy. Talking about 3 days, three unexcused absences now. Man, look, I said I wish they would mail me a letter home talking about your son had your child has this many days. And cause the last letter I got, I threw it away. I was like, man, get out of my face. Y'all better not call me. They be petty with that type of stuff though. But yeah, but next year, I think they're pushing it up to 18 days. So I said 18 days works. 18 days works because my kids don't even had any days out of school this year. Shoot, I think at the most probably like 6 days. No more. It ain't a lot of days they out of school. You know. But yeah, my coach was telling me about this market over here. I think it's Cordia's Market or Harvard Health. I'm not sure, but he was telling me about this detox drink. I want to try it out because I am definitely overdue for my quarterly detox. I need to detox. Ay, ay, ay. It's 7:54. I gotta go to the grocery store. So that'll be another chunk of my steps right there, going to the grocery store and getting some stuff, getting food for the week. So I have to be strategic about my spending, especially for the end of this week, because I was on vacation last week and my check is going to be garbage. I mean, straight up garbage juice. It's gonna be terrible. Like, it's one of them checks where I just look at it and say, "Damn it, I quit." Like, shoot, them dang vacation hours. Shoot, I tell people like, man, shoot, going on vacation may be fun, all this stuff, but hell, I hate losing money in the process. Shoot, I hate losing money in the process. Yesterday's show was last night's show was great. The Women of Scolingo, it was awesome. It was it was very awesome. I enjoyed that. I love when we, when we do go live and breaking things down and have our have our commentary and our banter and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, we did that yesterday with the wacky ending. Me cracking at my best friend. Me cracking at my best friend's boobs. It said, I think 18 is a lot, but these days we don't know what's around the corner. Right. That's true. That's true. That's very much true. We definitely don't know what's around the corner. You know. And that's why I said, my kids don't even have nearly nearly as many days. Yeah, man, them vacation checks. Ooh wee, them vacation checks are horrible. And ironically, when I was working part time and I went on vacation, I was like, oh wait a minute, this is nice. I need to go on vacation more often. Man, I started working full time. I said, wait, what the fuck is this? Wait a minute. Nah. I said if I can take vacation time and take the same amount of hours that I actually clock in, I would be thrilled to take a vacation. Good Lord. And before they cut my hours, that's a bridge. Before they had cut my hours, I was bringing home like shoot, like 1,200, 1,300 a week. Shoot, I go on vacation, man. That damn check be $800. What the hell? No. And so now, since they cut our hours, shoot, I'm still trying to inch in, to at least bring home a K. Like, good Lord, y'all killing me. And I definitely don't live outside my means. It's the damn bills. Shit, I say if y'all want us homeless, just say that. And that's why I was I don't know why I'm sitting real in my head. I done did my research. I can scratch my scalp all I want now. Sheesh. Ooh, that feel better. But yeah. But I'm definitely, trying to at least get serious a little bit of my content creation where I can, try and get some type of stream. But shoot, it's tricky. It's tricky even with that, especially, don't have the brand deals and everything like that. So I'm looking into all of that, you know, possibly working up an agreement with brand deals and stuff like that. I was contacted by Susties, this company that sells small kitchen appliances and things like that, and they're using two of my videos in their ads, so they're going to be getting back to me as far as compensation. So, so that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing. And and TikTok, I'm getting all these messages, from all these different companies on the TikTok shop, wanting to collab and things like that, and I'm checking them out to be sure that one, they're legit, not scamming, and two, their product is something I can actually use and make relatable. That's the thing I don't want to do is try and collab and push something that I don't even relate with. So that's definitely the case with that. And a lot of them I'm looking at are like these like clothes and stuff like that, and I'm sitting here like I'm not a skinny girl, so I don't know what the hell y'all reaching out to me for. No, damn well I can't fit this shit. The hell? like, do you have something on the temporarily plus size? Like, yeah, I can't fit this. Okay, I gotta get from around this oversized load truck and speed past it, cause I don't play with tractor trailers and industrial equipment tethered to the back of it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Yeah. Oh boy, I do not. I don't want to. I got to bring the money into the household and keep these bills afloat. So, and then this week and next week is rent week. So yeah, that's fun time. That's rent week. So I gotta pay. I pay my rent in increments. I do one half this week, and then the other half next week. And also, mind you, my freaking car insurance is is right there too. So I have to pay them both um in increments, equal parts. So that way it won't mess me up as far as getting groceries and all that stuff. It's money out there, especially for people like you who are creatives as hell that make dope content. It is, thank you. It definitely is. And see, and when I even started out, even doing content creation, I've always had a creative outlet. I've always wanted to do videos and things like that. But never even thought about it, and then and some of my coworkers and friends were on TikTok, and before all that happened, I just thought TikTok was just a kids app, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go on no doggone TikTok for what, and one of my friends had uploaded a video, and I was like, you know what, I'll bite, and I downloaded the app. Didn't know what the heck I was doing at first. I had the kids to help me, and come to find out, where I was messing up at was my walls in my living room was white, and the icons on the side were white too, so it blended in. So I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to push here? And they're like, it's right here. I was like, tragic. So and so I had started, so I went down the rabbit hole and was looking at all the trends and all the dances and stuff like that. And so And so at first, I was trying to do, all the little dance trends and stuff that everybody was doing, um, and then started doing like little funny stuff like fitness related, mommy related, all stuff that was relatable, and I was getting a little traction here and there. My first video that went viral, that was I didn't know what the hell to do. That was a culture shock for me. And on top of that, I didn't know about the professional mode at that point. It was just a personal account for me. And I had and my first video had went viral, and it was a trip. My first video went viral, but at the same damn time I wasn't getting the followers, and that was the crazy thing to me. That didn't add up. I'm like, I'm getting all this traction, all these these notifications. RIP to my notifications. That was crazy. It went viral, and so so I was still trying to strike while the iron is hot, and then I started coming across these follow for follow profiling pages, and there was this guy Boost Me Up. I think he's Boost Me Up Community now. But he would have these lives, where everybody followed each other. Birthday Friday, what's up, Slow Walking guys? Your birthday is a party. Happy early birthday! You let's see. It ain't Gemini time yet, is it? It's still Taurus season because my friend's birthday day is Taurus. Two of my friends actually birthdays say they're Taurus. So yeah, okay. It's still well, I think at the end of this week is the Geminis. It's the Geminis at the end of this week. But yep. And shoot, and then ultimately I just said I was gonna start doing me. I was gonna start doing me, with my content, and that's what started making it take off. And then in 2022, I made some doggone barbecue stuffed chicken bread, and shoot, everything just went crazy. But yeah, but content creation is very tricky. It is definitely tricky, and one of the unfortunates about it is you have to stay consistent with it. And even though it's not a bad thing, but sometimes you can get into you can go into a creative block. Sometimes creative block, sometimes a slump, and then sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. You just want to chill. And shooting, if you do that too long, and then the algorithm will kick you out. Like right now, I got 250. And this video that I uploaded yesterday, that mug had like 437 views. I said, what the hell? It's weird. It's tricky. It's tricky. But that's what I'm looking into now, though. Reading everything and trying to understand the game a bit. I got a couple of friends, that they said that they was gonna help me out whenever I needed, so I'm gonna reach out to them and pick their brains. And then I said on YouTube I was gonna start back uploading content. I got a lot of content that I had uploaded on my TikTok, but I didn't upload on YouTube. And then my 3 ramen videos, I really have to be strategic. You're right, it is a job. It's definitely a job. It's definitely a job.
It's just that, for upcoming creators, it's not that type of job where you can quit your job and try and go and try and go full time. Now you gotta, you gotta keep that keep that guaranteed income coming in. So, and that's definitely the funniest thing about that. Yeah, oh, you got 200,000, you got 215,000 followers. You getting paid? Ain't I getting paid what? I get like if I'm getting paid, I sure don't see it. Like shoot, huh. I'm like T. I'm like T.I. Where they at though? but me doing it when I did it, it was a hobby. It was a hobby and a creative outlet. It's something fun to do. So shoot, why not? Why not get paid? Why not get paid for the hobby? So that's definitely that. I know one thing. I am hungry. There is not a Smoothie King on this side of Goodman Road. So I will be going to the other side of Goodman Road. I just keep this route. Whew, excuse me. So my bro Nate Treadwell, he goes by Nate the Great Comedy on all of his platforms. I'm pretty sure the Shade Room will be talking about him very soon. So he went mega viral and bananas off his parody, a ramen noodle love story, and it's a parody of Luther, by Kendrick Lamar, and he did that. He and his, I don't know if she's his girlfriend, fiance, his wife, but they did that. They did that. You need ideas? You need ideas? I got ideas. I still got some greenery left over at the house. Like I said, I was in my Pisces mood last week, and I didn't even meal prep. Like I know I'm tripping. I also did meal prep about the food, didn't even do it. So I'm definitely going to do that. Do I want to get a tomato? It's like I like tomatoes, but I like them firm. I don't like them when they're mushy. And so my meal prep last week was supposed to be cheeseburger boats um, with the lettuce boats, cause I'm back on low carb. But that's what I was supposed to do, and I didn't do none of that. So I gotta play catch up. If this bowl was mine, woman noodles, put it on 3 minutes, make it hot. Yeah, my bro did that. He did that. He did that. The last time I looked at his page, his video was at 6.1 million. So yeah, he that bad boy that bad boy skyrocketed overnight. I heard green and thought about smoking. I don't smoke. I do not smoke. Um, I don't even smoke. So anything in that regard would be in the form of a cookie or a gummy or a chip. uh-uh. I don't even know the first thing. Lord said don't spread. I don't even know the first thing. You know, with greenery. I call it the green potpourri. When I was staying in my apartment, I had these neighbors across the hall, and they were lesbians. And when I say they smoked, I mean it didn't matter when they smoked, and it would be loud and thick, and I could smell it in my own apartment. And they were cool in the joint. They were super cool. I ain't gonna lie, I was sad when they moved because they were super cool, and it was a lot of drama with them. Like, and there'd be and there'd be times where I'd be sitting at my door, like, sitting at my door listening to them from across the hall. I'd be in the hallway, and Jan be like, "Girl, what you doing?" I was like, "Shoot, all right, man, this been love and hip hop." Yeah, man, get over this. but they lit up it anytime, all day. It didn't matter. I would get home from work, um, like at 4 in the morning, and they up just green away, and I'm sitting here like, bruh, y'all. I'm like, wait a minute. The sun ain't even cracked the sky yet, and y'all up at 4 in the morning smoking. What is we doing? But they were super cool though. They were super cool. They were real cool. They were real cool. We looked out for each other and everything. But yep. Shoot, there was a point to where me and my neighbors almost had to jump this girl because I guess she was talking to one of them, I guess online. I don't know what happened. All I know was I'm laying down in my bed, ready for work, and I was kind of feeling under the weather, and I hear something banging on my door, and I'm sitting like, what the fuck? And see me, I don't get up and answer my door. I don't get up. Who is it? I kind of slightly peek through that blind and look at my porch and see who's at my door, cause if you ain't announced, I'm not answering that door. And on top of that, I'm in Memphis. I damn sure don't trust you knocking on my door. So I hear like this banging at my door, and I look out and I see this girl walking down the walkway, and I'm hearing this commotion or whatever. So I guess she's into it with one of the girls across the hall or whatever, and shit like that. And so I'm irritated at this point because one, you done woke me up out of my sleep. Two, I'm not feeling well, and and so now I come out with my doggone basketball short sports bra, out ready to square up. Cause I'm sitting there like, look, I don't know what the fuck going on, little mama, but you need to go on about your damn business or whatever. And my neighbor's like, oh, I apologize. She, got, this girl, that this such and such met online and blah 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 blah. But the girl went on about her business, and me and my neighbors, we standing there, whatever, chopping it up, and we dab it up, and we going back inside. So we were cool. So I was like, man, look, girl, get your little ass on before you get your ass beat in this apartment. And that was when I was cut too. So I had my whole sports bra, my gym shorts, doggone 6-pack. Man, y'all ain't coming out the house now, you shit. Give me a couple more years. I'll be back out in the house in sports bra. Oh. But my neighbors though, they would get into it all the doggone time. And that would be so funny. And I was like, all these girls, and I ain't gonna lie, fellas, I'm love y'all, dude. I really do. I really do. Especially my black men. I love y'all. I love y'all to pieces. But I ain't gonna lie. Y'all make me want to cross over to the dark side. Sometimes I be like, man, you look, y'all, ooh, ah, you know. But, 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 uh, but listen at them and they drama and stuff like that. And I had put a status on Facebook and I said, yeah, y'all ladies be talking about, how y'all don't want to deal with men no more and, want to cross, go across the rainbow. And I said, honestly, the other side of the rainbow ain't as colorful as y'all think. I was like, it's just as much drama on the other side of the rainbow on both ends. Lesbians and homosexual men. So yeah, it's drama on both sides, and I seen it both. So I was like, shoot. So you better think twice before want to explore other options, cause drama is drama, and sometimes it be you. I'm just saying it be you. I should have stopped at Smoothie King so that way I go ahead and get my protein in. I ain't gonna take me long to shop. I already have a general ideal of what the menu is going to be this week. But yeah. But my neighbors had got into it though so bad. So I don't know what happened this particular day, but they got into it or whatever, like clockwork. I think it was on a Wednesday. Got into it, and so I guess one of the girls called herself was gonna get her shit and go. Tell me why I'm hearing some scrubbing on the walkway. I'm sitting here like, what the hell is that? Now, mind you, like I said, they full of drama. You know what? Take that out. I said I was sitting at the door. I was actually no, I wasn't sitting at the door, but this go around, I was actually at my bedroom window, and my bedroom window faced the parking lot. So I look out of my window. This damn girl, I guess she had a love seat that she had bought or brought to the apartment or whatever, and she she pushed her damn love seat out the damn apartment, and I guess was waiting, either waiting on the ride, or you know how we get when we get into it with our significant others or whatever, but like, fuck you, I'm gonna get my shit and I'm finna go, and we go wait outside, like, I guess like we waiting on somebody to pick us up, and sometimes we didn't call no damn body, but we just did that to try to, and to stay out there so you can be like, you know what, bring your ass in this house, you stupid ass. You know what I'm saying? Let's work this out. And I think that was the case. This damn this girl done pushed the damn love seat out. Like I'm literally hearing the scrubbing. Got her damn love seat on the damn sidewalk, and she just standing there. And I know she stood out there for a good little minute. She stood out there for a good little minute. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell? This damn girl done pushed her couch out the yard and out the apartment. And I said, Jeremy, this damn girl done pushed her couch outside. And she just sitting there waiting, and she was out there for a good little minute. I know she was hot. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And she's sitting out here, and she was out there for a good little minute. And then I think maybe 45 minutes later, I hear, she pushing the love seat back into the damn apartment. And I was sitting there like, all of that for what? Like, all of that for what? Oh my God. That was too freaking funny. That was too freaking funny. Yeah, my neighbors were a trip. My neighbors were a trip. Yeah, boy. Oh boy. That's the one thing I can definitely say since I had moved from home when my daddy let the house go in in 2014, and Jeremy and I had gotten our apartment, and then now the house. We definitely had some great neighbors. I can definitely say that we have some great neighbors. The neighborhood we're in now, our neighbors are awesome, and sometimes you have to teach yourself a lesson. Never again, man. Look. I don't know what happened with that couple. I don't know if they're still together. I know they had moved out, and they moved from that apartment, and I think they had upgraded, um, because I saw them in the leasing office, and I think they had moved on the other side of the complex. But I ain't gonna lie, I really missed them. They were cool. They were real cool. They were real cool. And but my neighbors, I have some very good neighbors. Miss Sandra, that's next door to me on the left side. She's a real sweetheart. We have conversations and things like that. She's gotten stuff from my kids. She's a early childhood educator. Um, she works with like preschool kids, things like that. So she's gotten things from my kids and everything. Right, just dramatic. With the whole couch of I hear like I'm sitting there like, what the, like, this girl done pushed the whole couch out and then have to push it right back in. Oh my god. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Like I said, lesbians full of drama, gay men are even more full of drama. Jesus Christ. I don't even want to get started with them. But ooh wee. I hadn't seen nothing full. I hadn't seen anything firsthand, but I do have some gay friends and seeing they post and things like that. And then of course my cousin, rest his soul, had a little drama going on. And I remember telling him, I said, hey, cuz, do I need to gas up the Civic and take a drive to Chattanooga? Ain't but 5 hours. Like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Um, and but the first thing that I did, I will say this. I had the first time I had never seen a gay Mexican before. That was the strangest thing I had ever seen, was a gay Mexican man. And like I said, that was definitely a sight to see. Mind you, and I know, fellas, y'all don't want, gay men are dramatic, but seeing it gay and in Spanish was even more. And I've seen, and this was this was back in 2010 when I had started training at the French Riviera Spa, and my trainer Napoleon, he's bilingual, and he, I guess, had a client or somebody that signed up under him or whatever, and he was airing out his grievances, but it was in Spanish. And the entire time he's and I'm sitting here like, now I'm sitting here, I come in there and sit down, and me, I don't have a poker face at all. And if I see something, you're gonna know I see it, and you're gonna know, and you're gonna read whatever it is on my face, and 9 times out of 10 you're gonna tell me, be good, Toya, or Toya, just walk away. Cause 9 times out of 10, if you see the face, something's gonna come out after that. And so the whole time I'm like the entire time he's going, going in, and I'm just, my Spanish is far from fluent, but baby, he was going in, and I'm sitting here like, what in the world? And so he, left whatever Napoleon, and Napoleon just looked at me and bust out laughing. He said, T. I said, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't never seen nothing like that before, ever. And then the fact to see that and all that very fast, very fast and zesty Spanish was, that was not on my bingo cards of life to see anything like that. But yeah, the rainbow community is extremely dramatic, extremely dramatic. And shoot, that they are. That they are. Ooh, child, it is 11:30, and it will be 2 o'clock as soon as I blink. And I ain't gonna lie, I am so elated that this is the last week of school because I won't have to worry about getting up and getting these cheering, having to wait in line. It's like my kids get out of school at 3. But their two older sisters, they get out at 2:15. So I'm pretty much sitting outside the school for about maybe 45 minutes. I usually pull up at like at 2:25, 2:30. And the coolest thing about it is all three schools are right there. Elementary, middle, and high. They're all right there, in the same spot. And so when the girls get out, they will walk toward the elementary school, they're walking with their little friends, and they'll probably go down the street to the park, kind of chill, hang out or whatever, and then 3 o'clock comes, they'll come and get in the car and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so I'm sitting there, pretty much, for 30 minutes. And for me, I hate, for me, 30 minutes, I can do a lot of shit in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Right, zesty Spanish. Look, the baby, the zesty Spanish, it was zesty and it had some spice to it. Okay, it had a lot of cumin, it had a lot of cinnamon, it had a lot of, it had a lot. It was a lot, and it was her. Oh my God! Like I said, it for me that was a sight to see. It was hilarious, and the faces gave like you don't want to be out with me in public, because I do not have a poker face. I don't have a poker face, but but for me, I hate wasting time. When I have an intention on doing things, and for me, like that 30 minutes, I could have been and cooked. I could have been doing something. A lot of times for me, 30 minutes, I could have went on ahead and at least prep something, in that time span, and I hate and I hate wasting time, especially when I have to cook dinner and then try and get me some rest, before I go to work. So now my schedule is 8 o'clock, and so I'll try and lay it down, maybe 5:30, probably 6. And of course, because me being a couch sleeper, it can be a little difficult sometimes now, with daylight savings time, and the front of my house, where the sun is my the front of my house is facing the west. So now when the sun is setting, my living room is bright and hot as shit. So now I got that going on, and mind you, it's beautiful outside. It's warm, and I'm laying here like, bruh, I gotta go to sleep for work. Yeah, fun time. And I'm not a bed sleeper, and Jeremy hates it. He hates it, and he don't understand it. But that was just how I grew up. Growing up, we had a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2.5 bath. Well, I should say one and a half bath. Yeah, one and a half bath. Growing up, at my mom's house, and so of course the master bedroom. My parents was in that, and then the other bedroom, my granddaddy was in. He was staying with us, and then my third sister. was still staying at home too until I was 13, where she moved out, and eloped with her husband, and so that was her room. And so of course, when we were little, we slept in a room. But as I got older and we had cable and stuff like that, I would go to sleep on the couch, and that was how that was. I slept on the couch in the den, and then when she moved out, I sporadically slept in the room, and my grandmother, when my great uncle passed, she started coming up for the weekends, and so that was where she stayed. So that was like slick my room slash guest room or whatever. And then when I finally started sleeping in my room, I was like 18. I'm out of high school, and my mom had got like the cable cord double thingy, where she, where the cable cord hooked to that, and then the cable cord hooked to the other joint. And so I had like cable in my room, and then that's where I stayed until I was 30. And and then I had, ultimately, had to move out because because daddy had because daddy let the house go after my mom passed. But yeah, but ever since I had been out, um even in my apartment, in my house, I slept on the couch. Sometimes I slept in the bed, and then other times, I would be on the couch, because Jeremy be in the bedroom, playing the game. Me, I'm watching SpongeBob, Love and Hip Hop, or whatever is on the TV, and that's pretty much how it been. And he don't like it, he don't understand it, and I was like, this is pretty much how I grew up, and this is how I'm used to it. And now, even if I do sleep in the bed, I wake up and every damn thing hurts, which is the weirdest thing, Like I wake up, if I sleep in the bed, I wake up, my back is screaming or my hip is screaming, and I was like, see, this is why I don't sleep in this dadgum bed, because cause every time I lay down, something hurts or I oversleep, and that's the biggest thing. I hate oversleeping. But yep. But enough about my issues. I don't want to bore y'all with my troubles. I'm out of water too. I don't want to bore you with it. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. I need more water. Let me get my butt off of this so I can go ahead and get to shopping. It's 11:37 my time. So I know for sure, if the weather's permitting, I will be walking Wednesday. Tomorrow does not look promising because we are expecting some severe weather, and they're saying level 3. And the weirdest thing is, the news tell us we're, to expect some severe weather, and the way the weather travels, either Memphis is lucky or just that fucked up, because the weather that comes from the west across that river goes northeast, as in as in the weather's like, hell no, we not gonna go to Memphis. Hell no, they crazy as fuck. We is not, no. We're not going to Memphis. It's either going northeast or southeast. Like we had a storm several weeks back where it literally like split like that, like going up this way and the other one's like down that way. And I'm sitting here like, I ain't never seen nothing like it. And of course, I'm not testing God, I ain't questioning God, nothing like that. But it was the craziest thing. And I said, that's crazy. Even the weather know not to come to Memphis. I said, we is not that bad. My goodness, we ain't that bad. And I'm saying that sitting in South Haven, Mississippi. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. But yeah. And speaking of weather, prayers going out to St. Louis. Sheesh. 2 tornadoes ravaged through a great portion of the city. I said leaving 2 dead, dozens injured, over over two no no over 100,000 people without power. I know I got some folks I'm cool with out there in St. Louis. Couple of creators on here that are St. Louis. I have some cousins out there, and I got to figure out how to even get in touch with them and see if they're okay. One of the things I have to say, St. Louis will definitely get hit from time to time. You know, if not the tornadoes, the floods. You know, out there. So yeah. So prayers out to St. Louis and the people out there. But yeah. But as far as us, you know, they're expecting severe weather here in Memphis, and they saying that the threat risk is at a level 3. So we'll see how that plans out. And if Wednesday is looking promising, then yeah, I'll be back out walking. So enjoy the live, enjoy the remainder of the day, Stevie Wonder. I will definitely do that. Y'all enjoy y'all day as well. Thank y'all for tuning in, putting up with my shenanigans, and like I said, if everything looks good, then we'll be back Wednesday. So yeah, so I will see y'all later. If y'all not tuned in, make sure y'all tune in nightly. Just say no to Sko. Tune in on Sundays to Women of Sko Lingo. Yesterday we had a very great live. If y'all haven't tuned in, please tune in. I didn't sub stream on my channel, but it's definitely on Cream's channel, the main channel. And yeah, and make sure y'all subscribe to everybody. But yeah, but I will see y'all later. See you later, Emmanuel, Luke, Slow Walking Guys. See y'all later. It's 4 y'all in there. See y'all later. And with that being said, we about to go ahead and count it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. See y'all later. Bye.